Welcome to Fundamental Supersize Business Strategy number 49. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we're going to talk about the Agile strategy. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't usually call this Agile strategy, but with AI, artificial intelligence, coming online and writing a whole lot of stuff for people and producing content and things, the term Agile has really taken off. Basically, depending on the group that we're working with, or if it's our business or one of my businesses internally, we call it change, the change strategy. Why? Because we want to be agile and flexible in the face of change. And if the change weren't happening, if change wasn't happening all around us all the time, we wouldn't have to be as flexible or agile. Now, anybody who's ever had a job is probably laughing right now, like I am, about the word change. So many people push back and are afraid of change at any given time. It's almost mind-boggling. I had a lot of stuff happen to me throughout my lifetime, but I remember as a kid realizing that everything around us is changing all the time, and we needed to become a part of that movement and an integral part of that and embrace that in order to get the results that we wanted in our life. If we push against it, we're spending all of our energy and all of our resources trying to stop something instead of going along with the flow of change that is going in the direction of what it is that we want to create. And this specifically applies to us growing and building and supersizing our businesses. What are some of the advantages, of course, to being able to handle change in an agile, flexible, efficient, and effective way? Number one, faster decision making. Again, people who've ever had a job are probably laughing because they know how hard it is to get anything done depending on the environment and the culture that you're working in, or working with. If you're a coach or a consultant or a service provider of any way, shape, or means, you also are probably laughing and know what I'm talking about. I think of different agencies and change orders and contracts and change orders. There's so many ways where this doesn't go as it should, which is part of why we want to be the example. We want to set the example with our flexibility, our ability to handle change, etc. Increase customer satisfaction. There is no doubt that if you are able to solve problems on the fly and fix things that your company does wrong, because I guarantee all of our companies make mistakes and do things incorrectly or inadvertently have a result that we didn't anticipate or expect. And we need to be able to, number one, take ownership and responsibility for that we created it and that we have the ability to fix it. And almost every company easily has the ability to fix it. Nowadays, more than ever, a fix is often a push of a button on a computer panel or an operating system panel. It helps us to optimize resource management by being agile and flexible and being prepared and knowing that changes are going to happen. We make different decisions for how we run our business on a day-to-day basis. And finally, risk mitigation. If we've got the ability to pivot and change on a dime, we are much more likely to deal with risks that come our way. Think COVID pandemic. The businesses that had open-minded, flexible enough vision to change how they were doing what they were doing during the pandemic survived. Those that didn't and just wanted to stay the same are no longer with us. So what is a process? I'll share a quick 7-step process, and I'll try to be quick on how do we go about adding this to our business if we don't have it already. Of course, the best way to do something like this with all of these strategies is to build them in as you're building your business initially. But most of us are not in the startup stage anymore, and so we have to have a process we can use to actually bring this in and have this strategy be an ongoing part of our business. And watch how quickly it positively impacts every other area of your business. It's kind of like focusing on quality and customer experience. When you have everyone in the organization working in the same direction toward the same ends, it's amazing how quickly and easily things can happen. So, of course, our first step of any process is to define our objectives and our goals. Why do we want to be able to handle change well? Some of the reasons I stated, but what are you and your organization's reasons for doing that? What are your whys? Why do you want to do this? What's in it for you? And they have to be specific to your business and your company and your industry, or guess what? As soon as you hit a little roadblock, you're not going to do it. You're going to quit. Secondly, we want to build a cross-functional team. Agile, change, flexibility is all predicated on our ability to collaborate with other functions within our organization, with other people in our same industry with other people in different industries. It's all about communication and having a multicultural, multifunctional team. That doesn't have to be multicultural. It depends on your organization, but it does need to be at least multifunctional, because there are different categories of people that have different amounts of involvement in any type of change that comes down the pipe. So we want to have product owners here in our organizations. This team changes all the time based on the change or the challenge or in the environment that we are facing. So we want to have sometimes different categories of people on the team, like product owners. Product or process owners are the people that have to set the direction and the goal and the outcome that we want to have for any particular change that's coming. Then you've got process specialists and the process experts who hold us accountable to being agile and flexible and dealing with change in an effective process and manner. And then you have development teams, or I like to think of them as deployment teams, who on the team are the people that actually have to go out and do all the things that the team decides that they're going to have happen in the organization. Third step, start with small iterations, small changes. As you're creating this process and implementing this process, start with something small. Don't start with a company-wide initiative as your first test of your change management, your agile strategy. I'm begging you, please don't do it, because it will probably not be successful. And then that gives people that are on the fence as to whether they believe it's a good thing or not, or needs to happen in your business, ammunition to say, look, see, we tried it on this gigantic across the board software upgrade process and it didn't work. It took 2 years instead of 6 months like it was supposed to. That's the biggest way to kill any initiative or strategy that you're implementing in your business. So start with something small. Test, tweak, iterate the process until you figure out what works as you're defining the process for your organization. Use continuous feedback loops. Another really important factor in change strategy or agile strategy is that we have feedback loops. We're getting feedback from all the stakeholders on a continuous basis, and we want to set those up so it's automatically happening. We want to conduct regular meetings to gather insights, to gather feedback. We want to ask for feedback all the time. Why? Because we want to know what's working, because chances are the team that is in charge of handling agile and change for the business, for the company, for the organization, isn't the team that's actually out doing and implementing the things that have to be done in order for the rest of the organization to be involved and stay flexible, agile, and ready and able to deal with change. We want to embrace change and flexibility. I think that goes without saying, since I've already said it about 10 times. Change is inevitable. We can push against it, but guess what? Our resistance only hurts us. We need to flip that on its head. I like to flip a coin, or say flip switch. We need to flip our negativity and turn it into possibility and positivity as we are implementing any type of change. And guess what? Good changes have as much stress associated with them as bad changes for our organization as well as for us as individuals. 6, we want to prioritize high value initiatives. I love going into an organization and working with an organization and starting with a small, high priority thing in order to get a quick win for that company, so that they embrace the process, they test the process out on something that's important to them, and that gives them a high rate of return or a high impact result that they've been wanting for a while. And finally, 7, measure and scale your business. Use being flexible and agile as a competitive advantage, because it absolutely, totally, positively is. Use other things and other strategies that we're talking about and meld them all together to create your own unique competitive advantage in your business and in your industry. Any questions? Hit me up. Love to hear your experience with flexibility, change management, agile strategy. Are you, or have you incorporated agile methodologies into your business operating procedures to date? Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with number 50 of our fundamental supersized business strategies. Have an amazing day.